Good evening. Tonight, the American people have spoken. The votes are in. And what will go down as an unprecedented turn of events, the new president-elect is Joseph Acosta.
I am not for or against unions. I'm for uniting government. I feel if there were fairness and equality in government, as well as business, there wouldn't be any unions necessary. So to me, unions are no better than the lobbyists on Capitol Hill, who are overpaid, overvalued hostage negotiators that are holding our system of government for ransom.
You made it.
No, we all made it. That includes you. I'm glad you're on board.
Your new president and I will ensure that America lives up to its standards. In unity, there is strength.
I can't believe it's been 20 years. Man, we really have come a long way.
Yeah, and I still look handsome.
Of course. Oh, it's the babysitter. I gotta take this. Listen, go out there and kill them, and I'll wait for you backstage, okay?
I look forward to our next phase as a unified country. I bring you the man that will make this dream a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the new president-elect, Mr. Joseph Acosta.
Thank you, New York. Thank you, America. Thank you to my campaign manager, Kendrick Colson, and my running mate, Governor Henry. We're here tonight because we are survivors. We're here tonight because of all of you. Now is the time for us to write a new chapter in our nation's history. We need to rebuild what has been systemically destroyed by our government. We need to fight.
What happened?
He got shot on the podium.
Oh, bag him. We're gonna take him right to ICU.
Come on, stay.
When we get there, we're gonna need 2 units, packed RBCs. Sir, you have to stop here. Type and cost match for immediate transfusion.
We are here at the Brooklyn Medical Center, where President-elect Joseph Acosta is being treated after just being shot. The shooter's whereabouts are unknown at the moment, and we will update you on his condition as we know more. Back to you in the studio.
What the hell just happened?
Calm down.
Tell me we found the shooter.
Security's checking the footage.
Security? We should have had Secret Service detail.
Fuck you, Henry. I did my job. He didn't want one.
You should have known better.
You saying I wanted him dead?
Where is he? Where's Joe?
Don't worry, he's in good hands.
Agent Gunn, FBI. Are you Mr. Colson?
Yes, I'm Colson.
I need to know who had unrestricted access to the convention space. Miss Rivers, right? I need you to hold off on that call. In fact, I'm going to need all of your phones.
What? This is absurd.
Sir, we have a warrant. The agents downstairs will escort you all back to headquarters for your statement.
Listen, you really think we got something to do with this?
Not sure, but I'm going to find out.
We have breaking news. Tragedy has struck the Acosta camp, and what should have been a night of celebration turned into a night of terror. President-elect Acosta has been rushed into surgery. We will keep you posted on further details.
Let's have a chat.
You don't understand.
Tell me about your relationship with Senator Acosta.
What about it?
Mr. Coulson said the two of you are very close. I'm just wondering about
That's none of your damn business.
Why you tried to kill him, Kendrick?
He was my mentor. I loved and respected him. You're misguided.
You can stop by doing that Uncle Tom bullshit. I ain't buying it.
I don't give a damn what you think. I'm innocent.
So giving up your stake in Saudi Aramco didn't worry you at all?
It's the last thing I'm worried about.
So what's the first? Anything from Coulson?
Nothing. You?
No. We jumped the cell phones yet?
Not yet. You want me to run it by IT?
Yeah. If they find anything, text me. I'm gonna take a look at the surveillance footage.
Okay.
At this time, we are still searching for the person or persons involved in the assassination attempt on the U.S. Senator. Our investigation has uncovered many leads which we are still pursuing, but that is all the information I can give at this time. Thank you.
Thompson, I'll take Henry and Rivers. You deal with Coulson. We don't have a lot of time to figure this out.
Okay, ma'am.
You couldn't wait for him to actually take office, could you? You had to take him out now, didn't you?
Is that seriously what you think? You fought for the same issues.
That's not what the streets are saying.
So tell me, Agent
Thompson.
what are the streets saying?
Young lady. You might be the hot new recruit out of Quantico, but I'm the governor for the state of California. Depending on how the next 10 minutes go, I could be your new commander-in-chief. It's a little career advice. Don't go throwing blanket accusations out on people without having the facts first.
I intend to. You tripped out, Coulson?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm innocent.
Stand up, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest.
What? I already told you I didn't have anything to do with it. Wait, look, you should be looking at Rivers. Just check the safe. You'll find the folder, Operation Blackbird.
I need to call my babysitter.
I'm so sorry to hear about your son.
What? What do you mean?
When we dumped your phone, we found this incoming text.
They have my son. They said they were gonna kill him. I didn't know what to do.
We traced the number and it led to your ex-husband.
Is my son okay? Please tell me he's okay.
He's fine, Miss Rivers. He's in our custody for now till we can sort this all out. Did he have any money issues? Debt? Gambling?
No, not that I know of.
I think you know what this is. I'm curious, though, why your ex-husband would kidnap your son.
I had an affair with the senator. And any idiot with both eyes could see that he's not Joey's father.
I'm guessing when your husband found out about the affair, he didn't take it well.
What are you getting at? Did I set Joe up to be killed?
Listen, Miss Rivers, the quicker you confess, the quicker we can move on. You told Acosta and he didn't take it well because it would ruin his image and most likely cost him the presidency. That's why you decided to kill him, isn't it?
Are you hearing yourself? If anybody wanted him dead, it would be Henry.
And why is that? Recognize these? Rivers gave you up, said she found these in the campaign office safe. So what happened? Costa found out you were sleeping with the enemy and threatened to replace you?
No, Joe didn't know. I took steps to make sure no one did. Let's meet up one last time. We'll get this all sorted out.
If anyone had any reason to kill Joe, it was Coulson. He was stealing money from the campaign.
Sit down. Sit down. Henry told me you've been stealing funds from the campaign treasury. But what I want to know is, who is that?
Maintenance guy? How the hell should I know? Are you going to ask me a serious question?
You're a smart guy, Coulson. But you know, for someone who graduated Harvard summa cum laude, you're not too bright.
Is that language really necessary?
You can tell that candidate of yours if he's trying to intimidate me, he's got another thing coming.
Look, I already told you, you gotta stop calling. Someone's gonna catch on to us. It's not safe.
Hey, Joe's looking for you.
Just hang on. Okay, yeah. Tell him I'll be a minute.
Okay. Joe wasn't stupid. He knew that Henry was playing both sides of the fence. But he wanted to be like Lincoln. He wanted to go back to the good old days of what it really meant to be a Republican, not this line in the sand party division bullshit. But all Henry cared about was his business deals. All he wanted was power, clear and absolute.
I'm a politician, not a priest. My allegiances lie with the party. Having said that, what happened tonight was an attack on our country's democracy. One that I can assure you I had nothing to do with. And if you had any evidence to the contrary, I'd be in handcuffs right now.
Now's your chance to come clean, because from my point of view, it looks like you're heavily implicated in this thing.
Okay. Look, I didn't steal money from the campaign. I borrowed it.
Go ahead.
I have a gambling problem. I figured no way in hell Acosta would win tonight. I mean, a Latino president. Anyway, I called this bookie I know in Vegas. Laid odds on how much he'd lose by. Figured it was a sure thing. Money would be back in the safe by morning with interest.
Anyone who's ever been to Vegas knows there's no such thing as a sure thing. Take him.
Stand up.
Even if you're not a traitor, I have you dead to rights on several federal charges. So until your story checks out, the evidence points everything to you.
Hello.
You know this is bullshit, right?
So am I free to go?
For now. You're free to go.
What? That's it?
Well, unless I'm missing something.
Hi. So there were some complications during surgery. Right now, he's stable, but it's still touch and go.
But is he gonna be okay?
He's in ICU for now, and we'll keep him there overnight for observation. But in the meantime, you just need to pray.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
Okay, thank you.
Gentlemen, we have a bulletin coming in. We now switch you directly to Parkland Hospital.
The President of the United States
Governor Henry Wilson will become our new commander-in-chief. DeVille challenges his presidency. In a strange twist of events, President-elect Acosta's campaign manager was arrested on money laundering charges. No word yet on whether he'll receive a pardon from the president.
Hello?
How you feeling, Mr. President?
Who is this?
Let's just say...
You have friends in high places, Will. They're looking forward to working with you.
And if I refuse?
You saw.
Help! Somebody get a doctor!
I never miss.
I wish I could say the same.
You take care of yourself.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the screening of The Republican. My name is Sally Stewart, and I have the pleasure tonight of moderating with these amazing creative people. So I'd like to introduce the producers, directors, and assistant directors of this wonderful, wonderful film. We're going to start with the writer and director, Mr. John Navarro.
Hi guys, I'm John Navarro. I'm the writer and director of The Republican. Thank you guys for joining us.
And Renisha, would you like to introduce yourself? She's a producer.
Hi, everybody. My name is Renisha Marksman, and I am the producer of The Republican.
And the assistant director.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Palacio. I'm the assistant director of The Republican.
Yeah. And Paula.
Hi, I'm Paula Patino, one of the actresses of The Republican.
That's really great. You brought this thing to life. That's awesome. So I have some questions about the film because I know, John, I've known you for a while, and I was like, I know you're talented. I was really blown away with how this was put together. And one of the questions that I have was, what inspired you to tell the story? But when did you know to take it from the story, from the script to the screen?
The reality of it was just the fact that it wasn't about realizing when to take it from script to screen. It just coincided that I was getting ready to graduate from graduate school. I was in graduate school pursuing my master's degree. I was just intrigued by the fact that there were two Latinos who were running for president, and both of them were in the Republican Party. And growing up in my household, most of us were Democrat, being from New York. So it was just this kind of like anomaly that I wanted to explore a little bit more. So that was the genesis of the idea. And then in 2016, I made a film that was selected to the Society of Motion Picture and Television Engineers Festival.
Wow.
And that gave me the opportunity to win a grant to participate in this special film competition called the Televised competition. So when this opportunity came along to do this film for the competition, it coincided with when I needed to make my thesis film in order to graduate. And so then I pitched them this idea that I had for the Republican that I had written out back in 2015, and they liked it, they selected it, and then from there we went about trying to make the film.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, wow. All right.
Initially, me and John had the conversation about his idea, and then once he had it written down, we kind of went back and forth a little bit with like different ideas on like how to punch it up a little bit, or at least how to make certain things like connect a little bit better. So then that's when me and Maria started working with John to like help out a little bit more with the script.
And so I decided I was going to kill two birds with one stone and basically combine the project, use the grant money that I was being given as seed funding to do the interactive movie, and then somehow finagle that into my thesis firm as well.
Did you know John before this, Maria?
Yeah, I did. I knew John. Actually, I do remember when I first heard John had called me, and I remember it was December, and John had called me and told me about the contest and the writing and the filming, and that the filming was gonna be in a month. So it was, it was exciting to hear about it and to jump on. I mean, I've known them for a while, so working with them was always a pleasure.
This is always a question for me for filmmakers because I'm a creator as well. What was the budget?
We had a very fixed budget we had to work with, which was $5,000 that we were given from the Senti Vista competition. We had an angel donor who was a franchise owner and investor in this company called Time Play. And they were the ones who were basically going to be kind of executive producing the project in order to promote their interactive cinema technology.
Interactive cinema is here. Transform devices into controllers. Interactive storytelling.
So that was the budget we had. We had $5,000 and we had 1 month. And that might sound like a very long time, but the reality of that is that we had 1 week to cast. We had 1 week to write the script. We had 1 week to procure the locations, and then the last final week to shoot it and edit it, because it had to be delivered by the end of the month. You know, I had Renisha in my ear. She was calming me down, and then I had Maria, like I said, running around troubleshooting. And then to Paula's credit, she did help a lot with a good part of the casting.
When I was going through, because the process was so fast, I literally used my Facebook friend contact list like a Rolodex, like back in the day. And I'm scrolling through and I'm like, you know, found Alan and Shabazz. But then when I was, I remembered Gavin because I had a conversation with him on that set and I liked his personality and his look.
We really shot it in like 4 days. And then the 5th day was like kind of like pickups. And that's the beauty of like independent filmmaking. It makes you think outside the box. Right. And I think for us, that was like a huge thing for us. How are we gonna be able to get our point across within 4 days in this much money, but then not make it look like it was a low budget film?
I was like thinking of my own way of thinking about this. I was like, yeah, it's like when you buy that Gap t-shirt, but people think it's like not a Gap t-shirt because you wear it well. And that's the beauty of it. And you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
One thing that struck me about the film that I thought was, I just kept thinking, that's why I asked about the budget, is the locations. Like, I'm thinking, how much money did they have? You use a lot of great footage, and talk about that from, as a filmmaker who doesn't have a lot of money, and how you're able to make a film, make it look interesting, fast-paced, and all the rest of that stuff, and all those shots with $5,000 budget.
The quick and simple answer, B-roll. You know,
B-roll saves the day.
B-roll saves the day. I was fortunate enough to, in the job that I was working at the time, I was working for an elected official for 3.5 years at the time when I did this movie. So I had access to resources and different search engines for where to get B-roll and stock footage and stuff like that, that would either be free or very inexpensive. And then again, Renisha tapping into that resource, figuring out where we could just get different assets from for free, and then using that so that we could give the film a bigger feel and make it feel bigger than what it was. Like, I've had people tell me that it felt like a $50,000 budget. So when I tell them we only spent $5,000, they don't believe it, but.
It's also about like utilizing the resources that I have and like we have as a collective group, because I reached out to a lot of people I either worked with before or had like friendships with, just to be like, hey, this is the project I'm working on, and like, is there a way that you could help us out to like get this film shot? Because at the end of the day, it was something that meant a lot to all of us, and because the only thing we needed was just somebody else to believe in us to be able to take it a little bit further. We all put so much into it. John, he wrote the script, and like he had so much passion in it that it was easy enough to sell it. We're not trying to waste anybody else's time. This is something that we know can make a difference.
There's a lot of asking.
Yes.
But to have to shoot 6 shorts, because essentially that's what we had to do. It was a branching narrative, so we had to make 6 separate interactive films that would play together, that the audience could then determine, kind of like choose your own adventure, determine what the outcomes was going to be based on the scenarios that played out. So to do all of that in the span of a month was ridiculous.
So that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Maria, so what did you learn, and what would you do over again if you had the power to do it over again?
What did I learn? I think I would say that was my first actual film project out of school that I did, and it felt like it, and I learned a lot of assisting, directing, and writing with a group.
If they were still writing it as we were shooting it, so every time they had to change something, they had to rewrite other things. So there was a lot of improvising for me, going with the flow, just saying, okay, just say something, anything that's related to the scene right now. Only one particular scene, I think, with the interrogation scene, was actual dialogue that I actually had to memorize. So if I had to do it over, I would have, taken improv classes way ahead of time to learn how to do that, because improv is not my...
Your performance was wonderful.
Thank you. I feel like it prepared me for what's to come, because I know that if I get cast in network TV or anything like that, there might be daily script changes. And so now I feel like I have a sense of being prepared for that, and I won't freak out on that set. I mean, there was a lot of freaking out on the set, but it was definitely a learning experience in that aspect, and I feel like it made me more adaptable.
John, what about you? I know this. I want to ask everybody, because I think everybody needs to know, like what you learned and what you would do over again if you could do over again, outside of raising more money because you didn't have that.
I think the biggest thing that I learned was I didn't have the kind of crisis management skills that I thought I had.
Oh, okay.
So what the film taught me was it exposed areas in my ability to direct and produce that I needed to work on and fortify. And that was humbling for me, because coming into the project, I definitely consider myself to be kind of a perfectionist.
You could never tell all the drama that was going on. And it's really great to hear everybody's different perspective on what you learned and what you would do over again. Paula, since you're the actress here, what was, what anchored you in that character?
To be honest, with this particular situation, I didn't have the time to really delve into that. So I was heavily relying on the team.
Look, I already told you, you gotta stop calling. Someone's gonna catch on to us. It's not safe.
Hey, Joe's looking for you.
Just hang on. Okay, yeah. Tell him I'll be a minute.
Okay. Joe wasn't stupid. He knew that Henry was playing both sides of the fence. but he wanted to be like Lincoln. He wanted to go back to the good old days of what it really meant to be a Republican, not this line in the sand party division bullshit.
So I just did the best that I could with the direction that I was given from John. And also, you know, I went to Maria a lot for advice for certain things, and she has a very calming energy. So I know when I did the interrogation scene, she was sitting not that far from me. So like in my side peripheral, I was like, you know, cutting away, looking at her a little bit. And, you know, I had the lights on me, and I just kind of let go and just was in the zone.
Right.
So much in the zone that I actually forgot a line, but because John was experienced enough not to say cut, I went back in, like I did it. And then when he edited it together, it just looks like I was taking this dramatic beat. I really forgot. So I was just, I would say it's not so much focused character driven, but I was just heavily relying on the energy of it and just being in the zone and knowing how important it meant to everyone and including myself, you know. So it was, because as John had mentioned earlier, we shot about 6 different stories. So it was just really a unique situation where I trusted myself enough to just go with it, you know, just really be in the energy of it, you know.
That's great. That's what you have to do when you get there. You have to let go.
So those were all of the things for me that were learning moments and teaching moments for me throughout the process, because as everybody alluded to in their answer, you know, particularly on the first day, there was a lot of Murphy going on that first day. Every possible thing that could have gone wrong went wrong on that first day, from the sound guy getting sick and not showing up, and then Renisha jumping in and doing sound, to the PA not showing up, and then Maria calling somebody to troubleshoot that fire, put that fire out, to issues with the location. So it was just like, that first day really tested our will, because it was like, if we didn't make it through that first day, we probably would not have gotten the film done.
So what I'm interested in is the story now. Yeah, I thought it was, I mean, given this current election, wow, right? What a coincidence. I love some of the lines about the Republican Party being, I think it was, you know, and that's what I keep hearing, that it was the compassionate party and all the rest of the stuff, and it's just certainly changed. So what did you learn? What did you learn about that?
John actually brought this to my attention, that there's actually a lot of Latino Republicans, which I didn't really realize.
The funny part is that we shot it the day after New Year's on 2017. So we shot it January 2017, and the film is still very much super coinciding.
Like in Puerto Rico, a lot of the population are Republican. And in the southern states of America, like Texas and Florida, a lot of the Latinos there are Republican as well. So it's very divisive.
And then we're going to all these different states in which you're hearing Trump's rhetoric, or like all this negative rhetoric, but then there's still a lot of people that are voting for him. So then, like, when it comes to the film, it was just surprising to know that there is like certain groups that you wouldn't necessarily see as being a part of the Republican Party, but are actually gun-ho Republicans.
You have Latinos who support the Republican Party because of the history of the party, and then you have Latinos
for Trump
who don't.
I would assume that a lot of Latinos would be Democrats based off what the Democratic Party stands for. So to see that there is a huge population of people that are Republican, it was just like, all right, now it's time for me to really like open up my eyes and see that what I'm thinking isn't really like what a lot of other people are thinking as well.
For me, it was the same. Like I said, the film started as just out of a curiosity of why there would be Latino Republicans based on the current climate. And in a way, when we started writing it, I was trying to envision what 2020 was going to look like. And it's kind of scary how some of the stuff that we wrote about back in 2017 has come to fruition. You know, things like the Keystone explosion, that didn't happen when we had written the script. other things like the civil unrest with a lot of the protesting and stuff that's been going on, and the continuation of Black Lives Matter, that was just starting, and it was at that point a whisper, whereas now it's like it's a roar. So to see the evolution of kind of the social unrest that we tried to explore in this film is kind of, it's scary.
We've covered a lot. We've covered politics, the lessons learned, things you do over again.
What I'm hoping people take away from this movie, beyond just the dialogue of talking about, how politics affect our lives in a very serious and realistic way, is that it inspires them to vote. I mean, that's why you'll see on the screen, it says, vote November 3rd, 2020. Like, this election is serious. Your vote does matter. It does count. If you just look at, in New York City alone, the guy who is mayor right now claimed that he won 70% of the vote, when in actuality, he only won 20%. And that's because only 30% of all eligible New Yorkers actually went out and voted. So everybody that I hear now on social media who are always complaining that they're not happy about how things are being handled within government, within Washington, D.C., within New York, within whatever city or state or locality that you live at, like, it's evident that that's because your vote matters. Regardless of what anyone said to you or what you've bought into or what you believe about your vote not counting, your vote matters. So you need to go out and vote. That's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway for me. Like, learning things about the Republican Party, that was interesting, but it was painfully evident after doing that research and then doing this movie that that party does not exist anymore. So this part of this film was to kind of like also give a rallying call to those Republicans who believed in progressive values, who believed in equality, who believed in a non-intrusive government, to, stand up for what you believe in. Have some integrity.
I have one final question for you guys. I know we've covered a lot of ground, but I really love this film. I love the look of it. I love the story. Where does the film go from here?
What we wanted to do with that was obviously get it out before election, just to really motivate and remind people how important it is to cast their vote. And then after that, I think we have maybe one or two more festival screenings that were supposed to happen this year, 2020, because we made the film for 2020 and that got pushed back to 2021 because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then VOD, allowing the rest of the world who didn't get an opportunity to watch it at one of the festivals that we screened at to see it.
Wow. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for this wonderful film. Thank you for, everything that you said. It just feels like in filmmaking, there is a lot of people, a lot of hands, team effort, and then there's this net at the bottom, and then you just have to just trust that there's a net, right, at the end of the day. And you guys have a good net, right? So thank you for the film, and be safe, and good luck with it. I hope to see it out there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
We all work together. We're all LIU graduates or alumni. So we definitely have a strong network, and we try to support each other on each other's projects in whatever way we can. So yeah, like I said, I don't think that the film would have been nearly as successful as it appears to be if it wasn't for the team that I had around me.
Right.
So yeah, definitely eternally grateful to all of them. And also the actors and the people who you guys don't see, the makeup artists, the camera guy, the gaffer, the PAs, the extras, everybody. who was a part of it. So thank you, and thank you guys at home who tuned in and watched the film and stayed for this Q&A.